Greetings and welcome to another Godfather Minute. My name is Alex Robinson. And I am Andy Robinson. Together we are the Godfather Minute Brothers. Today we're here to talk about minute 158 of The Godfather.
Alex, repeat after me. E minuto. Cento. 58. Remember, whenever there's an 8, it gets a little weird. Cinquantotto. You got it.
It's not ocho? No, 8?
No. Who let the bounty hunter in here? Who let the bounty hunter in? Do we have to pay if we sing that?
If we do less than there's a certain amount of beats you can do before you have to pay. So you can do like the first 3 notes and then you can stop.
Well, and if you alter enough lyrics too, or maybe change the genre, like who let the... Sorry, it hurts my throat. Wait, what were we just singing? What lyrics were we singing?
Your voice is weak.
Oh, the who let the bounty... Who let the bounty hunter in? Out.
Well, we're talking
I've had a little caffeine, if you can't tell, Alex.
We're talking about minute 158 of The Godfather. Minuto numero 100.
You got it.
We're at the baptism of Michael Francis Risi. And as the priest speaks to us in Latin about stuff, he prepares to clean the infant of his sins. Meanwhile, we see Clemenza and Rocco getting ready.
That is Rocco, yes.
It is Rocco. Rocco's like at the beach house or something.
Yeah.
And Clemenza is in front of the old Clemenza house. Mrs. Clemenza nowhere to be found.
No, she's in that little package, Alex.
Oh, the thing he's carrying?
Yeah.
Well, you should be careful when he's backing out. They're getting. We don't know what Clemenza and Rocco are doing.
Something's going on here.
Do you think they're planning on assassinating Michael at that meeting?
It makes a lot of sense. Maybe Tessio was just maybe he was a what do you call it? A distraction.
Oh, subterfuge.
Maybe he's really not a traitor.
Misdirection.
Yep.
He's an undercover cop.
Yeah. Damn it, Rocco. I said you got to hide your identity.
So let me ask you, can I ask you a personal question?
Sure.
Our listeners want to know, who is the real Andy Robinson?
Who is the real
Andy
Robinson?
Yeah, do you like how I switched it up?
I like that.
Yeah. That's your patented song, but I switched it up.
Patent pending. I haven't come through yet. But so you participated in a baptism in the Godfather role.
I did. That's right. Yeah.
You want to talk us through that? Did you feel like it was authentic? Were you like, oh man, I feel like Michael Corleone? What's the story here? Talk to me.
It was very different.
It's different than the book.
Yes. My experience was different because this was not a Catholic baptism. It was a Lutheran. I guess it's still a baptism, yeah. Or is it a christening if it's not Catholic? I think it's a christening.
I don't quite know the difference between a christening and a baptism.
I think a baptism is. I don't know.
You know what? We'll ask, we'll answer.
And then I was not baptized myself. I think we talked about this at one point. I'm still not baptized, Alex.
Damn.
Yeah, so if you were to shoot me dead right now, I'd be going downstairs, not upstairs. I'd be going downstairs. And the I was going to say the priest, but it's not a priest; it's a minister. There's two parallel worlds when it's Catholic and non-Catholic.
The deacon.
And he more or less said, "Well, you weren't baptized, so you really can't be a godfather. But if you agree, if you commit to the responsibilities, I'll let it go this time."
This time.
Yeah.
Wow. Is he speaking on behalf of Jesus at that point, do you think? When he says, I'll let it go for old time's sake, I'll let it go.
Well, what was really strange is I could barely understand him when he was speaking because it was coming out in tongues. I was like, this time I let you.
He was speaking backwards.
He was speaking backwards and his head was spinning. Yeah. So it wasn't, it was just a modern and non-Catholic. So I guess a little less traditional. Clearly, they let a non-baptized guy be a godfather. So
yeah,
they're
much more casual about it. But did you have to answer these questions the way Mikey does? Like, did they ask you questions about? Did you have to sign anything or any kind of like affidavit?
No, I didn't have to sign anything. But we did have a conversation, and I think there were some questions. But it was like what I said.
You talked to Father Barzini.
Woo! Yeah. After all, this wasn't a Catholic baptism.
After all, we're not Catholic.
I think he asked me, "Hey, will you take on if the child's parents die? Will you ensure that the child gets an education with Christian values, stuff like that?" But it wasn't like a number 2 pencil fill in the blank kind of test.
Now, whenever I used to go on a plane, and I would sit in the emergency row, and they do that thing where they come around. Have you ever sat in the emergency row?
Yeah, oh yeah, I used to love it.
Oh yeah, used to. You don't love it anymore?
Well, I got confused because some of those seats don't recline.
Oh yeah, you have to.
And they used to not indicate it when you purchase them.
Yes.
So I got screwed one time, and so I got burned. I was hesitant to go back to the emergency aisle. But what happened when you were in the emergency aisle?
Well, no. But it reminds me that, they come around and they say, in the event of an emergency, are you prepared to open help people escape and all that stuff? And everyone has to say yes. Otherwise you can't, if you say no, then you can't sit in that row. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of what I imagine your Godfather experience. You're just like, well, I'm just counting on the fact that I'm not going to actually have to be responsible for this young woman's religious education.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
and this past year, she became a freshman in college.
So you are no longer
bound to that commitment.
Is that true? Like are not?
She's 18. She's an adult.
But you're still the relationship is very sacred. You think it just ends once they turn 18?
I'm still a godfather, but I think my responsibility to provide a Christian education is no longer applicable.
Right. So if she was going down a path that you deemed like that's a bad road, you're like, well, I'm not not her godfather.
I would provide guidance.
Right. But this would be strictly not in a professional capacity. It would just be a personal opinion, not
exactly. And as a result, I couldn't even give the impression to her that I was acting as her godfather. So I couldn't do it in my office. I couldn't do it on my daughter's wedding day. All these, because it's not just it's about the optics, Alex.
Got it.
Yeah.
So if she was getting married, would that's not your daughter, it's your goddaughter.
That's right.
So with that, you wouldn't have to do favors for people like, say, me.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No.
Forget it then.
Yeah.
But you didn't have to get baptized. That's interesting.
I don't think you were either.
No. But I wasn't also a godfather. I thought he would say, well, you know what? I have to baptize you first.
Yeah.
But
it didn't happen. I think we learned about it. I didn't even know at that time that I wasn't baptized. Mm-hmm. I think I assumed I was, but
as soon as you walked in, he's like, "You're unclean."
They put on the special glasses. Oh no, this guy hasn't been baptized. Like they live.
Yeah, they live in hell.
Yeah, if I recall it correctly, our cousin, asked me to be the godfather. Mm-hmm. And then and I said, sure, I'll do it. I said, sure. And then as it approached, we talked again because I had to travel from Georgia where I was living and back up to New York. Mm-hmm. And I said, is there anything I need to do? And she said, oh, no, you just need to be baptized. And I said, Donna, I don't know if I am. And so I called our mother and she said, no. She said, you were never baptized. So I said, nope. Someone's got some explaining to do. So I called her back and said, I haven't been baptized. And she said, let me check with the reverend or the minister. And so she said, I think it'll be okay. And I had to go up a day or two earlier and meet with him and have that conversation that I already described. But enough about me. Why are we talking about all this baptism stuff?
Well, because we're going to see you with the baptism.
Oh. Now, I know you have a lot of information about the church because that's your role. You do all that kind of research.
I don't have that much information about the church, but I do have a little bit of information about the church.
Lay it on us.
It's in the exterior, as is typical in this movie, the exterior and the interior filmed in different locations. Mm-hmm. The exteriors were filmed at a church in Staten Island, Mount Loretto Church. Those of you in Staten Island who, well, although you're probably not familiar with it because the church burned down in 1973. So right after filming The Godfather, the church burned down under mysterious circumstances. You got to admit.
Accident, Alex?
Yeah.
Was it an accident?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So you cannot see the exteriors of the church anymore. It's gone. But the interiors were filmed at Old St. Patrick's Cathedral on Mulberry Street in Manhattan.
I thought you were going to say the exterior is totally gone, but the interior is still there.
It's more like a conceptual cathedral than anything else. So
no, that's a property that Franky Five Angels would sell to someone. Hey, I have this great property. No walls, but great interior.
That's why you guys name Five Angels, because he only deals in former churches. And say, you know what? When I lived in New York, I don't know if I ever told you this. When I lived in New York City, Manhattan, many years ago, my then girlfriend, now wife, were looking to move, and so we talked to a real estate agent who showed us different things. And one of the apartments she showed us was in the former rectory of a church.
Whoa.
And so it was like all like stone and, you know, like a monastery type setup. And
that's fantastic.
It was super cool. But it just, you know, as a place to live, it was a little like it wasn't like that practical.
Yeah.
But like if I was like, you know, like if I'd been like 10 years younger and was like really into hosting cool parties and stuff, that would have been an awesome place to have.
Man.
Because, you know, one of the windows was like a stained glass window that looked out on the front. So
that's so cool.
That's one of the things I didn't like about it, is that it was, because it was stained glass window, it was very dark inside.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
So
that's what I was thinking.
It was a little gloomy.
Oh my gosh.
But still, it was cool to imagine living there.
Wow. That is really cool. Do you remember where this was?
Roughly. It was in like...
and was the church still present and functioning? But the rectory had been converted to an apartment or a few apartments?
You know, they were no longer connected. So I don't recall if the church was still functioning or whether it was being turned into... condos or something like that.
That's something that the agent didn't tell you. You move in, you're sleeping in on a Sunday.
Every Sunday
8
morning.
It's like,
Michael Risi, do you reject Satan and all this?
And of course, the huge pipe organ is right on the wall on the other side of your bed. The whole thing rumbles.
Well, the bed is actually a hammock suspended over the pipes of the pipe organ, so it's literally blasting right into our faces. But you know what? It was
that's
such
how
a
they
good
heat
deal.
that apartment.
Yeah. Franky told us it was a good deal, so he took it. You know. Yeah. So, yeah.
You can wake up and in 30 seconds you'll be down and you can do a confessional in the
lobby. New York has a couple of
wait, all of his real estate promos and all of his cells always end with something about the lobby. For example, the church he was trying to sell in Staten Island that burnt down.
Yeah.
He's like, the exterior walls burnt down, but that just made more room for the lobby.
He's very into lobbies. It's only got one bedroom, but if you have guests over, they can sleep in the lobby.
All right, what else you got?
Well, I was going to talk about the baby.
Yeah, let's talk about a baby. It is their son,
It is
I believe.
Connie and Carlo's son.
Carlos' son, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But it's a rare, I'm sure a lot of people know this already, but it's a rare case of stunt casting because to play the part of the baby, they got award-winning director Sofia Coppola to play the baby.
Wow. How did she get that gig?
I don't know. Maybe Francis Ford Coppola saw something in her, like knew that she was going to have star power.
Yeah.
And he's like, I got to get in on the ground floor.
Yeah.
And he's going to make her a star.
We gave her crying lessons, a reception of the baptismal water lessons,
Sleeping lessons.
pooping lessons, baby diarrhea lessons.
Oh, baby diarrhea lessons.
My wife and I were talking about baby diarrhea yesterday, which is why I talked about it.
Yeah.
And I want to be able at some point be able to, I don't know where this fits, but I want to be able to say like, oh yeah, that's like baby diarrhea. And someone will be like, what? And I'll say, well, it's cute, but at the end of the day, it's still diarrhea. So I don't know what I would apply that to prompt someone ask, what does that mean? And I could give that response.
I bet we could. I bet we could come up with a situation.
Okay.
Like if you see a movie that's like if it's like pretty but doesn't have much substance to it, you could say that's a little like baby diarrhea.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, that works. I was thinking more it's still not good. Like it's stinky. It doesn't have to be literally stinky. Yeah, no, I think you're right. It doesn't have substance. The movie doesn't have substance. It's not that good a movie.
Well, because you did say it was cute.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, baby diarrhea.
I think we're definitely speaking as two non-parents that you describe baby diarrhea as cute.
Baby diarrhea. So Sofia Coppola.
Yes. She is of course the daughter of Francis Ford Coppola, and she would go on to become a director in her own right.
Yeah. And those were the days, so she's a baby or an infant in the scene. Those were the days where you could have infants work on movie sets and television sets. You didn't have all the child rights things. Do you know they did 300 takes of that?
Yeah. She was on the set for, I think, like 12 hours they took them to do that.
And no tutors.
Yeah.
No child advocate there. I mean, this is when you could get stuff done.
Her fish, they had to pour so much water on her, take after take after take, that her fingers got all pruny and stuff. She had diarrhea the rest of the night.
Oh, that's cute.
So it is in fact Sofia Coppola playing the baby, and she would of course go on to play Mary Corleone, the niece of Michael Francis Risi.
Yeah.
According to the Godfather wiki, Michael Risi would be referred to as Little Mike to differentiate him from the Godfather Mike. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like if
there two
Connie was
Michaels
like,
here?
"Where's Mike?" and then they'd be like,
who's Michael?
"What do you mean?"
Who are there two Michaels you're talking about?
Yeah,
Oh, is the child being baptized named Michael?
the child's name is Michael.
Oh,
Francis,
got it. You know, I didn't
Michael
even see
Francis
that in the
Risi.
book. Didn't even see it.
I don't know if it's in. I don't know if they mentioned it, but it's definitely Michael Francis Risi.
Oh, got it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I got confused.
So named after Vito Corleone.
Yeah.
This is the younger sibling
little
of
Mike.
Victor, who
Yeah.
you'll recall got picked up for stealing a car in Reno.
Yeah.
And apparently in Godfather 3, in an early draft of Godfather 3, Michael Francis Risi was going to play a much bigger part. He was going to be known as, by that point, he was just known as Franky Risi. He's dropped the Corleone, or dropped the Michael part. And there was a scene of him getting ambushed by several Puerto Rican assassins, along with Al Neri. Now, I don't know if along with Al Neri means that Al Neri was one of the assassins or whether he was one of the people who was ambushed by assassins. So we'll have to.
Interesting.
So
And that was originally in the GF3 screenplay?
that was in the one version, the earlier version
wow.
of the screenplay. I wonder if maybe Vincent. That was basically what that was going to be kind of a Vincent-y role. Where
Yeah.
But
Speaking of GF3,
yes, as we do.
the past couple days, GF1, 2, and 3 have been on multiple channels.
Wow.
And so I watched the first 15 minutes of GF3 the other day.
And
I was kind of checking in and out of it. It was all flashbacks.
what do you mean?
Do you recall that?
What do you mean it was all flashbacks?
It was all
What do you mean?
it was all footage from the first two. Wait a minute.
Doesn't it show like their house? Doesn't it show like the Tahoe house all abandoned and stuff like that?
Yeah, but it's also
And Michael's
the first
composing a
15
letter
to
to
at
us.
least 15, 20 minutes was all a summary of Godfather 1 and 2 with footage from those movies, but it was really long. They kept going on and on.
I don't think that's part of the real movie.
It must have, maybe I was viewing I don't know, a special.
Are you sure you just didn't watch Godfather 1 and Godfather 2 and then Godfather 3?
Yeah, I'm sure. I was definitely watching on the TV guide things of GF3, but maybe it was just a special edited thing to summarize the first two to prep the third one. Because I don't recall seeing that.
No, I don't remember any of that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, there were flashback moments where you'd see like Michael thinking of Fredo, but not like.
Oh no, it was like, hey, if you didn't see GF1 and 2,
it was like a previously on The Godfather.
exactly, yeah, and it went almost blow by blow. It had like Luca Brasi getting killed. by the
Really,
Turk.
something has nothing to do
I'm
with.
telling you, went on and on. I turned away, and then I came back, and then it was at the end of GF1, and it just kept going on.
Even though you technically quote watched GF3, you didn't actually get to see any
No.
of GF3.
No, I ended up turning it off.
I think there's some people who would say you actually came out the better for that.
Yeah, I got punked. Although I did,
Every time you thought you were out,
they showed me another rerun.
Fredo!
A rerun. Oh, reruns of Godfather 1 again. By the way, I do have several cleanup items
Oh, okay.
for this episode.
Go ahead and clean it up.
Should we do that, or
Clean it up.
should we? Okay, I'll clean. Okay, here we go. Clean
Clean
it
it
up.
up. But Captain, he's a war hero.
Damn it, Alex! I said clean it up. Okay. A few things. Luke, I think this is from the GF3 thing I was just describing. So Luca Brasi's dream came true.
What was his? But for some reason, as soon as you said that, I thought of like Martin Luther King, and I pictured like Luca Brasi having a dream about everyone respecting each other. And what was
He's locked arms with all the button men.
what was the dream of Luca Brasi?
Luca Brasi's dream came true. Connie's first child was a masculine child.
Although it's played by by a girl.
Oh no! Oh my god! I just realized that. But half came true. All right, let's see what else do we got.
You might not be a masculine child now, but it'll be 10 years from now.
Yeah. Okay, so I also saw the scene where Johnny asks Don Corleone to get him the picture for Waltz.
I don't remember that. What are you talking about?
You can't not watch that when that's on TV, right?
Yeah.
And so Johnny says, "Oh, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do." And then a couple seconds later, he says, "No chance, no chance."
Yeah.
And then he says, "My voice is weak. My voice is weak."
He just repeats everything.
Alex, for a guy whose voice is weak, he's repeating a lot of words.
They call him Johnny 2 times because he says everything 2 times.
Johnny repeats a lot. And I'm wondering, maybe that's why his voice is weak.
Oh,
Because he's always double talking.
What's the matter with you? Why are you repeating everything?
What am I going to do? What am I? Oh, even the Godfather, when mocks him, says it's twice. Well, they become a
I wish they'd get that going. And like, he was like, do I have your help, Johnny? And he's like, I do anything for my Godfather. I do anything for my Godfather.
Show him, Mikey. Show him, Mikey. I mean, if he didn't have that you call that a tick, Alex? What would that be
I
called?
call it tick.
His voice wouldn't have been weak. He'd still be on top. He wouldn't have had to beg Waltz for the picture. Oh, no, that's not why Waltz didn't want him in the film.
He didn't want him because he'd make him a big star. You didn't have to pay him twice as much because he says everything twice.
Maybe that's why Waltz's voice is getting all raggedy, too, because when he's remember chewing out Tom, he repeats a lot. Johnny Fontaine never gets that picture. It'll make him a big star.
You know what's funny is that
Big star.
Frank Sinatra was infamous for only doing one take when he did movies. So I wonder if they did that on purpose as a way of they're showing he's not Frank Sinatra by having him say everything in the movie twice.
That was for legal reasons. They had to have
Mr. Sinatra, aren't you famous for only doing one take?
We have an affidavit. Johnny Fontaine repeats that. Where is it? So that was my cleanup, Alex.
All right.
It was really fun to watch some old scenes from the first two movies, especially Godfather 1, things that you and I talked about years ago. And I already started seeing new things, which is great. So it means we'll have to do it again.
Well, if we ever do, if we always have that stretch goal on our Patreon that if it gets to a certain level, we'll do a commentary for GF3, and then we'll do one. If it gets more, we'll do GF2, and then so that would be a good excuse to watch it again.
Yeah.
It's funny because over on the Star Wars Minute, that other show I do, for the most part, I have watched Star Wars again, and I just watched Empire again. But after we cover a movie, I have never gone back and watched it again.
Wow, ever?
Except for Star Wars, and now just recently
Just
Empire.
recently?
I've
Wow.
never watched Jedi. I've never watched any of the prequels. I've never watched Force Awakens.
Oh,
so
interesting.
It's interesting.
Do you wanna
and I
share
have not
why?
watched The Godfather either.
Is that intentional? Or there are other things you want to watch?
I think it's more that one. It's more just that I don't really have much interest in watching the Star Wars prequels, so it's I might not ever watch them again. But I think it's just that after talking about them, I'm just kind of I'm. Well, but then when I watch Star Wars again, it makes me laugh because I just think of stuff that we talked about on the show. So I'm sure The Godfather would be the same way. I'm not going to be able to watch Apollonia get blown up without thinking of Monday, Tuesday, Thursday.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
That's funny that you said yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It was so fun every time. It's on all the time. I'll watch The Godfather, and it's just so fun to think about all the running jokes. You see the origin of the running joke.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I have a few other things about the minute, Alex.
All right, what else you got? Is there something about the book, maybe?
Oh, I definitely have some stuff about the book. Before I get there, the Mass is in Latin. What do you think about that? Does it add to the drama?
I was thinking about it. Because all Catholic masses used to be in Latin, and it was a big deal when they said, "Okay, you know what? Now we're going to start doing it in English."
Yeah,
because I can kind of see if you're listening to it Latin, I'm assuming most of the people do not speak Latin. It almost would seem more mysterious and magical and stuff, as opposed to hearing just someone describing things with mundane words that you use all the time. I kind of like that. It's almost like. This stuff is so holy. The only time you use this language is when you're listening to the Bible.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
then it's not as accessible,
right? Well, and also as someone who doesn't believe in any of it, I'm glad they do it in English because it reveals to people that it might that is just kind of like a bunch of. Yeah. But whereas if it's in Latin, you kind of don't even know what they're saying, so you can kind of just put whatever magic you want into it. From the point of view of being a worshiper, I would think it would be better to do in Latin, but for the point of view of a cynical atheist, I'd like that they do it in English.
Yeah. So I think it does add to the drama of the scene. It adds that magic.
Yeah, the magic and the mystery of the Catholic.
It also, the Catholic Church is very old, of course, and Latin being an older language and language at that time, it does add to the feel that what is taking place in the story is timeless,
eternal.
Yeah, like the passing on of power from father to son, and then from this generation to Connie and Carlo's child. I kind of made that connection. So Clemenza, the buffalo-headed Clemenza, There's a little scene lit in this minute where he's leaving his house and he's carrying a parcel which is large, rectangular, and flat. Spoiler alert, we are going to find out that there's a shotgun in there. What is he trying to pass that off as? In other words, if someone came up, a cop, and said, "Hey, what's in there?" What do you think he would say?
Well, isn't the classic thing like a musical instrument case?
Oh, it looked like a large, flat, rectangular cardboard box.
Well, but like
Didn't look like an instrument case.
well, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess you could say it's a mink coat for his wife, or
No, but it's really flat. It's probably
a painting.
that's what I'm maybe painting or portrait.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess that's what he would. But I guess usually the old cliche thing is someone would have a violin case and they would pull a machine gun out of it.
Yeah.
But
Is there anything funny you can think of that he would say is in it if he were challenged? Cop comes up to him and says, "Hey, buddy, you're Capo Regime Clemenza. I want to look in there. What's in there?" What would he say is in there to try to deflect?
would he try to say a real thing, or would it just be like your mother, like something where it was just like he's just clearly just not going to cooperate? That he would just call Tom Hagen and say,
I could see either one.
"Yeah,
But is there anything
cannolis, a pizza pie."
Oh, there you go. Yeah, it's a rectangular pizza pie. That's how
I'm delivering pizza. What? Just because I'm Italian, I can't deliver a pizza?
Yeah. Where he says it's a painting of the girl. I love her. I told her I love her. Well, let's see. And we see Rocco preparing his gun.
Yeah. So
And-
that shot is framed in a weird way because you can see through the window. You can see people down on the beach.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. There's a little scene on the beach people having fun down there.
so it just made me wonder, like, is that Rocco's family?
Yeah.
Does Rocco have a family?
There's not a lot about Rocco in the book, but that little scene does not exist in the book. Instead, Rocco he gets a call, and then he gets in a car, and then he drives somewhere, gets in another car with other people, and then drives to the location that we're going to see in an upcoming minute. So there's no scene where he's putting together a gun or anything like that.
Let me ask you a question. When you're reading the book,
Yeah.
do you move your lips or do you just read it in your head?
I don't know.
No, the question was,
I don't think I move my lips.
when they talk about the flat box, and do you know, because when you watch the movie you don't know what's going to happen, but in the book, are they saying Clemenza took out the gun and got it ready because he was going to go kill do you know, at what point does the reader know what's going on about the plot to kill the bosses?
So let me delve into the book. I think I'm going to answer your question through some of the stuff we're going to explore now.
Because it must be different.
Alex, the book is different than the movie.
The book is different than the movie. The book is different than the movie. The book is different. The book is different. The book is different than the movie. Yeah.
Hey, speaking of songs, we should also announce that we're going to be revealing the new countdown song in the bonus content today.
Yes, you're right, Alex.
And what's it called?
It's called Not Even for Old Time's Sake.
Not Even for Old Time's Sake. So that should give you a clue as to what we'll be counting down to.
Alex, it's done. It's mixed. It's in the can. And
It's over.
It's over. Nothing is over. I am very happy with it. I know I say that it's currently my favorite, and I know I say that about all the new ones. It's like my favorite child. You're not really allowed to say that. What I really like about it is I carefully, painstakingly crafted the lyrics to have double, even triple meanings.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's a lot of value.
Yeah, it is. It's dense. So when you eventually hear it, really take the time to listen to the lyrics. I'm very happy with them. And here's a little teaser. It is sung by Tom Hagen. Yeah.
Sung by Tom Hagen.
Yeah, not his actual voice. We couldn't pull that off. We contacted Bobby Duvall. He did not respond.
Right.
But the voice, the content, the voice is in the, what do you call that, narrator? The narrator voice is of Tom Hagen.
Okay.
Yeah. So not even for old time's sake. Stick around for the bonus content. You'll hear it. And then when will we share it with the broader audience, Alex?
I don't know.
What do we usually do about that?
We usually just wait and then eventually when we bring up what we're counting down to, we'll say, oh, wait, how many minutes until that thing? And then so until we bring up the scene that we're going to be counting down to. So it could be next week. It could be 3 weeks from now.
Could be next week. It could be 10 years from now.
Could be.
Oh, I should have put some of those lyrics in there.
Not too late.
Well, it's too late. It's done. Puzo wrote, page 412. Oh, a couple things. This is not a baptism in the book, Alex.
What? What is it?
This is a confirmation. Connie and Carlo's oldest boy was to receive his confirmation in the Catholic Church. So he's already a teenager. I guess that's when you get confirmed, right? A young teenager.
Yeah, I think like 13, something like that, 12 or 13.
Not interesting?
So that would be
different.
Victor then.
Yeah.
I like that. That would be better because Victor does play a part in the next movie, whereas we never see Michael Francis Risi again.
But there's something about the baby. A new innocent child entering this family.
Yeah. The contrast of an innocent baby. And also, plus, like, I don't think it's not as symbolic of someone. Like, Michael is participating in this ceremony. It's much more about him renouncing his sins than it is about the kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you get that nice contrast of him murdering although in the book, he kills them after, right?
Yes, that's right. That's a big difference. Puzo writes, Kay asked Michael to be the godfather, but he refused. Michael, I don't often beg you, Kay said. Please do this just for me. Connie wants it so much, and so does Carlo. It's very important to them. Please, Michael.
You've made me your offer, now I refuse.
She could see he was angry with her for insisting and expected him to refuse. So she was surprised when he nodded and said, okay. But I can't leave the mall. Tell them to arrange for the priest to confirm the kid here. I'll pay whatever it costs. If they run into trouble with the church people, Hagen will straighten it out.
So he thinks there still might be an attempt on his life.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's still worried about it.
Interesting.
Because remember, the funeral just took place. So he knows there are some perceived power vacuums.
Right, but I thought that he was going to go to the meeting and then he would be assassinated. But anyway, it doesn't matter, I guess.
Yeah, this is all during the week preceding the quote peace meeting between the Corleone and Barzini families.
Do you think Michael's plan? Do you think he told the Don what his plan was, or did the Don even come up with the plan?
Yeah, you and I have talked about this, and we're not sure.
Okay,
but I seem to recall us arriving to the conclusion that yes, Don Corleone knew about it. Yeah.
Well, that's what we agreed.
Yeah. Puzo writes, and so the day before the meeting with the Barzini family, Michael Corleone stood godfather to the son of Carlo and Connie Risi. He presented the boy with an extremely expensive wristwatch and gold band. There was a small party in Carlo's house to which were invited the Capo Regimes, Hagen, Lamponi, and everyone who lived on the mall, including, of course, the Don's widow. I'm surprised.
Mama!
Yeah, even Mama was there. I'm surprised Carlo would have all those people over to his house.
Why?
Because he wouldn't want to have to clean it up.
Well, maybe they're bigwigs at the candy store. He can't not invite them.
Yeah, that's true. He starts walking around during the party. He starts walking around the apartment with his belt, like whipping people. Like everyone's saying, "Clean it out! Now you clean it out." Puzo writes, Connie was so overcome with emotion that she hugged and kissed her brother and Kay all during the evening. And even Carlo Risi became sentimental, wringing Michael's hand and calling him godfather at every excuse. Old country style.
Old country style.
That's what he wrote.
Chunky style.
Yeah. Michael himself had never been so affable, so outgoing. Connie whispered to Kay,
There's your husband. There's your husband.
I want to book passage on the Queen.
Al, can you get him a drink?
Go show Carlo the tree. How shall Carlo betray? All right, Connie whispered to Kay, I think Carlo and Mike are going to be real friends now.
Oh. Boy, you really can't read a room, Connie.
Something like this always brings people together. Kay squeezed her sister-in-law's arm. I'm
Connie.
I'm so glad, she said. End chapter. Interesting, right? Last things about the book. Rocco, like I said, is not preparing the gun. That's just not in the book. The whole next chapter is about Al Neary. And it's about his whole background and how he got involved with the family. I'll share that when we see Al Neary dressing as the cop.
Nice.
And I got one thing left. It says go to page 425.
Ooh, is it a choose your own adventure book?
Yeah.
If you agree to become the godfather of Connie's baby, go to page 425.
Yeah. If you, Michael asked you if it was the Tattaglia family or the Barzini family. If you continue to play dumb, turn to page 8, which, by the way, brings you back to the clean it up scene.
Oh, I really want to do a Godfather Choose Your Own Adventure now.
Oh, yes. Could you do it in cartoon form?
I think that's harder. I think it's easier to do in print form because you don't have the look doesn't have to be consistent. That's always the...
That's so funny. And in this particular crossroads, if you choose to continue to play dumb, it brings you back to the clean it up scene. If you choose to say it was Barzini, it brings you to the scene where you get garroted. And if you choose to say it was Tattaglia, then it brings you to the scene where you get garroted.
Whoa, so it's pretty bad odds.
Yeah, you're pretty much done. Okay, 425. Let's see the last thing. Oh, big reveal here. Carlo did not know of the meeting scheduled with the Barzini family for that night. Yeah. Which I think means he actually knew that he was setting up. He had some suspicion he was setting up Santino, and he was in cahoots with those the other families, but he just didn't know the meeting was supposed to take place this night.
Wait, so he is still in touch? He still is Barzini's man? Or Tattaglia's man?
It's not clear. I don't know. Yeah. So maybe we'll find out more when we get to the scene where Michael talks to Carlo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's all I got, Alex. I'm really looking forward to revealing the song to you. Because you haven't heard it yet, so it'll be debuted for you too.
Yeah.
Not even for old time's sake.
Well, let's rate this sucker and get on with the bonus content then.
I'm ready.
I'm ready as well.
Ready?
Yep.
1, 2.
All right.
Yeah, that's
Pretty
it.
much what we thought. It's more setup.
Yeah.
And
That's all I got.
oh, here's one last bit of trivia. Apparently, when they were editing this scene, the scenes together of the assassinations and the church thing, it was the editor who suggested because Francis Ford Coppola's like something about this isn't working, and it was the editor who said, "Well, why didn't you have the organ music?" Because I guess it was cutting back and forward, but the organ music wouldn't. They had the organ music go over the whole thing, the assassinations and the church thing, where I guess it used to just be on the church part, and then the assassinate. So they said by having it be one musical thing, it kind of brought the whole thing together. You can totally see that. So.
That's cool.
Yeah,
it's all about the music.
It's all about
really
the.
Is.
Hey, speaking of which, let's wrap this thing up and let's.
Yeah.
Let's
I have one more thing.
Yes.
We do, just to remind you, we have a new recurring item in the bonus content section. That? If you remember last time, we were talking about Dungeons and Dragons, which we do every week, but we joked that Tom Hagen is a master, a very high level illusionist. So we were going to start to have a recurring item where we talk about what illusions did he create in this minute to support his goals.
Wow.
Yeah, so we'll have to think about. You don't remember that?
I remember talking about the illusionist thing, but I didn't remember that. I don't remember that we were going to now find every. Damn, I'm in.
We'll see. We'll try it.
Yeah, we'll try.
We have a contract. You agreed to it,
but it's still small. All right then. So until next week.
Yeah.
Victor Santiago Pauline.